Alright guys, how you doing? So today we are going to continue on with the Spellbinders craft kits, or just kits of the month for August. If I have any links in the description box, there will be affiliate links, which means I will make a small commission if you make any purchases through those links. So I would have gotten to this sooner, but I had other things to get through, so for the craft day and all that kind of stuff. And then just some fun things I wanted to get to. So today we're going to do this guy, because a lot of you guys were like, please do that one. I'm like, of course. I mean, as I was talking, I lost my train of thought. So here we go. All right, so we're going to do this one. I already did the small kit of the month, and you guys really like the stamping. I fell in love with it. It was so much fun. I just kept doing a whole bunch of other ones. Because once you have the cut foam, you just can keep stamping. Which I guess you could do something like that with these too if you wanted to. I just have ideas in my head of what I'm going to do today, and hopefully it'll be fun for you guys to check out. So let's see here. I'm trying to think. I have a couple of ideas, and I don't know which one I'm going to start with. But either way, we're going to have that. One of the ideas was to just kind of make it into a card. And so I might use the papers from this the craft collection, but you can use that obviously anything you have. This is the Around the World for August of 2020, and I will definitely get to this. To be honest, I feel like this phone is easier than this project, you know what I'm saying, as far as like time, because all you're gonna do is cut the little pieces and put it together and make it super adorable. But anyway, let me get these things out. So basically the point of this one is that you make like a little frame with like a little still life, and I think it's called still life. Yeah, still life easel, 3D still life easel, and canvas. So let's open this up. Obviously we can see right through the packaging, so it's not the biggest deal. I'll show you how to put together your little easel, and what's cute about the easel is that you can assemble it in a couple different ways. If you want your portrait to be in portrait mode, you can put it up here. If you want it in landscape mode, this way you would just bring this piece down lower and glue it there. So it can hold your little project either way. And so quickly I'm just going to kind of look at this and just have an idea of what they're asking for a person to do here to put this together. Looks pretty straightforward. Okay, and so I'm gonna grab something for I'm just trying to think of how I want to do this. I think what I'll do first is do the basic card, the idea that I have, and then we'll do a little easel with like some really fun kind of mixed media effects. Okay, so my first idea would be to make like a little card. I've done this in the past. I think I had kind of taken some inspiration from like a Hunky Dory set that had like a little frame when you open the flap, you know, you open your card and there's a little frame inside. But then I was like, I want to do one with a double frame. So a frame on both sides. And it's going to be kind of small because obviously this is a smallish die. But let me get some nice thick Centura Pearl. Sorry, I'm just going to cut this here. There's some scrap paper I've had. And this is like a beige color. And I'm trying to see if this will fit in the marquee. I'm not sure. It looks like it will, but it might be side to side. Let's see. It is right at the edges. I'm gonna try it just because I'm sure some people are curious, and we'll see if it can get to those edges easily. There we go. I don't know if it's gonna do it. Obviously, through any other Gemini, not the Empress. The Empress is a little smaller, but things like that, it should work just fine. Oh, interesting. So it cut pretty much all of it, except for this little piece right here. So that was worth trying, and I'm okay with this. So I'm just going to cut this little piece here. And some people might say, why don't you just put it in your larger machine? So I only bust out my larger machines when I have to. If you think about it, these cutting folders are like $1, maybe just over $1 each. And then your cutting plates are what? Between 45 and 60 bucks a set. So I'd rather not. So I'm going to cut out 2 of these though, because we're going to need 2 of these. So this is basically the little thing that's going to make your little, oh, that works easy. It's going to, I don't want to mess with it too much because I don't like when it looks like too manipulated. But it was kind of easy to roll the way I did. And basically you're going to roll these in and just make your little frame. I've already done things like this, like with my art impressions. Frame is kind of similar. Obviously a different style and just completely different. But we're going to roll all those pieces and then these pieces glue down like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time to go ahead and crease them. You don't have to roll them like I did. You can do this kind of thing too. Just crease on every single little line. and I'll be right back once I have them all creased up. And I want to put some paper in here, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna cut out a second one, so when I come back I'll have two. So I'm gonna use the stuff that's in the card kit. I might as well, I guess, just go through the card kit really quickly, but use whatever papers you have. I probably will still make another video on this, but it always comes with your inspiration sheet. Again, I've already gone through these, the chipboard pieces. You have your cute little stamp set with the numbers, which I think is really adorable. It even has the little hashtag, the key to happiness, good friends are. It has like a luggage tag thing. Just really adorable stuff on here for like a travel theme. We have the beautiful butterflies. We have tons of die cuts, which I'll probably use today just to make the card quick, and you can kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. It always comes with your adhesives, some cute little sequins, of course our dies, and the dies kind of make like a globe, plus some other little kind of like travel related items, card bases, and then of course the beautiful colors. Oh, you know what? I was gonna grab some paper to make my card base, but I'll probably use one of these. Okay, so I want to use the paper pad, which is what we're getting to. This is what we're getting at here. And I just want to get some little paper that will kind of tuck in. Oh, look at this one. So cute. That is so cute. All the different tags with the foil. I was kind of leaning towards something that looks more travel related. This one's kind of interesting, the pink. I was going to go with blues and stuff, but this is cute. Let me see. Alright, we'll use one of these. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's already, again, humid. The humidity broke, and it came right back. And it's going to be in the 90s this whole week in San Diego. Yay. Not typically what we're known for here. Alright, let's see. So, I guess I can measure this on the back side. We need a piece of paper that is just about 3.5 inches. I'll make it a little bit smaller than that, by 2 3/4. So 3.5 by 2 3/4. Where are any of my cutting devices? I've been working on like developing different cards and things, and I take my tools to my, what's the thing called? Living room to kind of mess with things while I'm watching TV or whatever. 2.5 by 3 1/4, and 3 1/4 is the, is that what I said? I don't remember what I said anymore. Let me measure this really quick again. 3.5, sorry, by 2 3/4. So 3.5 by 2 3/4, and the 3.5 needs to be the height. So just under 3.5, because I don't want it to really butt in there and kind of be problematic. So just smaller than 3.5, and just not as wide as 2 3/4. So just shy of those numbers, just because, like I said, I don't want them to get right into the cracks of those papers and then just kind of make it hard to actually make the frame. Give it a little slack, basically. And then you can do whatever you want with your papers, obviously. If you want to distress them, ink them up now if you had a sentiment you were going to stamp or something like that. And I'm just going to stick this down, and I would love to use a wet glue, but we got to get moving, right? So let me... my glue runner is also, well, I'll use this one. I'll say my glue runner is also probably over there. So again, you see, use a wet glue, okay? Because I just need to get going because my other project for the frame is going to take a minute. So for the easel. So I'm just going to put this in here again, just a little bit smaller. And then I am going to take the time to use a wet glue for this part because I always want this to stick really well. So I'll do the other one just exactly the same. And I'm going to use a tacky glue because it sticks fast and it sticks well. So I'm just going to put some tacky glue on the very edges there. And this is just the basic construction of your little frame. So I'm just going to go and tuck that in and push it down. Okay, hopefully you can see that. That's actually really easy because it just makes like a little tube where you just kind of tuck it. I'm holding it back, and when I press down this way, it's underneath already. Look at that. So I'll do that all around. I'm going to hold it until it sets up, and I'll continue on this side, and the same thing for this other edge. And that's it. This isn't quite dry, but I got to get moving or else the kids are going to wake up and we're going to be in big trouble. All right, so I have my little frames. Like I said, I would have spent more time with this, but super cute. They're really sturdy because of that Centura pearl. So you want to use something thick for this kind of project. Let me see if this one, I had a bunch of stuff just laying on top of them. So that's pretty good. Like I said, I would have sat here with this a little longer and held it down and all that, because as you can see, if I give it some personal attention, I can get those little gaps exactly perfect. But for now, this is gonna have to be good enough. So when I measured them, they were 2 3/4 by 3 1/2, right? 3 1/2 tall, 2 3/4. Really cute. You can put it on a card or do whatever you want with. Put your little art impressions or your little works of art in there. That'd be really cute. But I want to put it inside a card, and hopefully this works, to be honest. I made this while these were sitting, so I have no idea if this is going to work out. So this is a piece of paper that is 6 1/2 by 3 1/2. So 3 1/2 as tall as the frame, so that's perfect. And I think the last video I made it with a little bit of a lip. And then I scored it at 2 3/4 and at 3 1/4. So there's a 1/2 inch space here. Okay? Because these are about a 1/4 inch wide. So hopefully this will work. Let me see. If this was here and this was here, does it close? Oh my gosh. Perfect. Okay. Because this is the thing. You have to kind of judge the side of this, but then also as it wraps around, maybe it's going to lose some of the stretchability. It's just, it's weird. So again, a really nice, really good adhesive is what I would use for this. So I'm going to try to stick this down in a way that makes sense. I'm putting it more on that side of the flap than closer to the edge. I'll show you what I mean by that. I tuck this in just on the opposite side of that score mark. Okay? Just on that side of the score mark. Just so that it gives it a little bit more flex when this comes around. It has a little more flex. If I put it right on that score line, it would be really tight and it would not be as flexible. So again, scored at 2 3/4 because this is 2 3/4 inches wide, and I gave it a 1/2 inch gap for the 2 frames, and then the other 2 3/4. That's why it's 6 1/2 inches. Let's hope for the best on this one. See what happens. And the other thing you could do, I suppose, is stack this one on top of this one, just so that you know. But let me see. Cute, 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 cute. Alright, and I did put the papers the same color just to make it easier. I was going to use some paper from the kit, but you really wanted to use a heavyweight cardstock, you know, some really good stuff. So you just made this cute little thing. Of course, this is not something you're going to send through the mail unless you put it in a package with other things, but look how cute that is. So again, decorate the front, probably get some little die cuts and put it on the inside. Maybe you have a little picture in here. Maybe the person uses it like this with your little pictures, like a little... what do they call those things? A picture frame, right? The kind that has the hinge in the middle. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh. So I'll finish decorating that up. Right now we have to move on. So I'm going to get some craft paper for the easel card, the easel part of the card, and then we're going to do something fun with the canvas itself, okay? I'll be right back. For the easel, like I said, I'm going to use some craft cardstock. It's kind of thick. Craft always has like a thicker, kind of weird feel to it. And if you look on the back, it does have some instructions. The instructions are very lacking, but I had seen the preview video for the large die of the month, so I have an idea of what to do here, but we're going to cut out 5 of these. We need 1 of these, actually we need 2 of these, and I'm going to cut it out from whatever I have left over of that goldish kind of paper, just because that's what I have, but if you had like a metallic paper or something like that, that'd be really cute, just to make it look a little more real, but obviously, you guys, this is just for funsies. You also need this piece in the cardstock, or craft cardstock, or whatever you're using. And I think that's it. Let me see. Yeah, it's kind of funny because I don't even tell you. So for me, I saw this and I'm like, okay, what does this have to do with this? But these are 2 different things. So this is to make the legs, and this is to make the rest of the easel. And then they said to make your canvas and then put it together for some reason. But we're going to put the whole easel together, and then I'm going to go to the canvas because that's just the easiest thing to do. So you do need 5 of these base pieces, okay? And so we're going to get to that. And what they're showing you is that you roll it up. So I'll talk about that in a minute. So that way it makes sense, because those pictures don't make sense. But I'm going to cut these out again. This will cut out in the marquee, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, no problem. So I'm going to cut out 5 of these, and 1 of this little strip, and then 2 of that little carrot piece that and the kind of goldish color paper, and I will be right back. So this one has a little pop hole. It doesn't really want to come out, especially with the paper being as thick as it is. But there's that. Alright, we have all our pieces. Let me put this away before I misplace it. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. What I remember is that you need to trim some of these down, and I don't know why I'm standing up. Let me see if I can sit down for a minute. I have too much stuff in front of me. All right. So we start off with our legs, and so we're going to use these two. Yeah, just pick two of them, and then these guys, we're going to need those in just a minute. And basically you're just going to roll this up, just like we did with the frame. So whatever is more comfortable, however it is comfortable to get in there. We're just going to score on the lines. It's kind of interesting because you can make it so that it collapses, but it's not going to collapse small enough to go into a card or an envelope. So I don't see why you would want to collapse it, but that's basically what we're doing. So I want you to see. So obviously I just rolled it up, and logically this piece tucks into here. I am going to use tacky glue again. If you want to use a really strong, you know, dry adhesive, whatever it is that you like. So we're going to do this for two of them. I'm going to do it now on this one. Like I said, I always like to kind of let it so that the piece that I'm gluing, like, it'll want to open up, so it wants to touch this other side. Does that make sense? I didn't really squeeze it in, you know what I'm saying? As I rolled it, I didn't like turn this completely in. So I knew that it's going to want to open up, so it'll want to touch this side that we're gluing it to. And I'm telling you, tacky glue is so nice, but at the same time, it will warp your paper, so it's kind of annoying in that sense. So as I'm holding this, I'm going to do this all at once, but you can do that. You're going to take this piece here, and there's a little score mark. I don't know if you can see. There's a little tiny score mark right here, and there's a score mark right here. So I'm just going to bend this back towards me for a second, because I'm going to bend that score mark, and I'm going to put glue on the very tip of that score mark and tuck that down in here. So I'm going to do the same thing for both of them. Right there. So as I'm holding this, because I use the wet glue, I don't want to hold this part and then hold this part, so I'm doing it all at once. So I can keep massaging this and making sure that stays, and I have a feeling this little part will stay better. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for the second one. Okay, so I was just finishing holding this one. So now what we're going to do is just, excuse me, glue these two together. So I'm going to hold that for just a little bit, again, because I'm using a wet glue. So I'm just going to hold it for a little bit until it sticks, and I will be right back. That's pretty well stuck down, but now I'm just going to put this little glue here. Get one of these guys on this side. So cute. And then put one on the other side. And that actually helps with the sturdiness of this too, because it helps to kind of reinforce that, right? That area where it's glued together. So put one side, put some on the other side. And I will be back when this is set up. Okay, I'm gonna put this down to the side and probably put something, a little weight on there. By I mean a little weight, like a bottle of glue or something, just to hold that in place. Okay. So for these guys, there's three different things we're gonna do. So that's kind of what they're trying to show you in this picture. So I don't want to confuse people, but I do want to show you. So here it's saying these are the brackets, and what they mean by brackets is this and this. So they want you to cut off the top of this one and cut it there. They want you to cut this one here and this one here, and then this one we'll talk about in just a minute. So let's talk about these brackets. So there are score lines, and they do this like with the Becca Feekin things or other. There are little score lines right here and right here. So basically, if you were to draw it, you would see it, but I'm just going to cut right into those. And that's one of the areas you're going to cut. And then the second one, for the short one, the first one they showed you, there's a little tiny tick mark right there. Again, a little score mark. There's another score mark down here, and then there's a longer one here. But this one's just a little something, and basically it just means to cut there. So this isn't that technical, because we're just going to make a little bracket piece. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, we need that. So for the second bracket piece, again, we're going to cut this top part off, basically. And this one has another tick mark right down here, way down here. I know it's hard to tell, or hard to see, sorry. But trust me, there's a little mark there. And now with these guys, all we're going to do, again, is just roll them up and glue them together. So it's going to make like a tube. Been making lots of tubes this week, huh? With the pop-up Halloween card and everything. Let's see here. Okay, and then again, I'll put glue there and I'll hold it down so it stays like a tube. Same thing for this little guy. Just gonna roll it up and make our little tube. Put some glue along that edge there, obviously, and glue that together, okay? So we have 2 tubes. Oops. This one, not that this one's a little bit trickier, but it's a little bit different. So this is gonna be the back leg. So this one mimics the front ones, but you need to make it a little bit shorter. And there is a complete score line on this one right there. So we're just gonna follow those cut lines right there. So it looks like it goes down just a little bit, but I'm just following the line. I don't think it even has to be that perfect, but I'm just following it, and then this one's straight across. And that's it. That's all you're doing for that one. And again, just like we did the other, 2 legs, just gonna fold it up. I'll show you this one because this one obviously has a little more, but not that much more. And then there's 2 options you can do here. If you want to make your easel collapsible, it says there, do not glue this. You're gonna put it in place, but you're not gonna glue it. If you don't care and you're just gonna make your easel and it can just be sturdy, then go ahead and glue it. But for now, I'm just gonna make it so that it can collapse, I suppose, because I don't really know what that means. And again, I'm just gonna fold this back on itself. And I'm only gonna put glue here. So I'll hold this, and I'll make the other 2 tubes, again, putting the glue and holding it. Unless you want to use a, dry adhesive. But again, if you want it to collapse, I'll show you what that means in just a second. Do not glue this, but if you don't care, go ahead and glue it. But I'll be right back when this is glued and when these are dry too. I was just gonna say, when you're making these, you can flatten it out if it makes it easier for you to stick the glue together. It doesn't have to be a tube and like hold it. You can flatten it because it's just gonna pop back up anyway, So if that makes it easier for you when you go to glue, you want it flat, do that. Okay, so we have this little piece here. Now, if this was glued in, when you go to glue it to this piece, it would just be stiff, right? Because it's just glued already, just like these guys. But if you wanted to make it so that this can collapse, it'll swing back this way instead of just always being out. It can be this way. Do not glue that piece. So, yeah, so now I'm just gonna put glue on this little flap just to that score mark, right? Basically. And then we're gonna adhere this to the back of this guy. I should probably look at it from the top too, just to make sure. I'm just putting it wherever, obviously it's pointy here, I just put it right below that point. I don't know if that's correct or not, but there it is. Something like that. Let's try to make it straight. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. See how it flaps back down? If it was glued, it would just stay stiff out this way. But you have a little flap. Okay. The other thing we're going to do is take the longer bar, and if I had my little frame ready, I could have a reference, but that's why you're supposed to have your frame ready. But let's just put this, it has actually reference marks right here. I don't know if you can see, there's little tick marks on here. So, and it's actually on both, so you can kind of see where you're supposed to put the glue. It's right there. There's like a whole line there that shows you where this should go. So I'm just going to put this on here. Oh, actually, let me turn it. I'm going to put so that the seam is on the back. See, there's a little seam there from when we put it together, Let's put that towards the back. And I'm going to let this chill for a little bit because I want that to stick really well before we move on to the next thing. So I'm going to hold this for a little bit, and I will be right back. Okay, while that continues drying, we're going to take this guy and basically fold it down the center. There are score marks on this, so you'll see the score marks when you have this in person, but fold that down there and fold these guys up, I suppose. So it makes like a little, this kind of thing. And basically this is going to stick here, but I'm not sure if it goes up or down. Let me look at this picture real quick. Like that. So we're going to glue it there and glue it to here. So I want to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to put a little glue here, and I'm just eyeballing this, but you can do it a different way if you don't want to. So I'm putting a little glue right dead center where this would meet up. And I'm going to put this here. And then the other piece is going to stick to the back of our little easel. I guess down, trying to see how low it should stick on there, a little bit higher up. Does it have tick marks? It probably has marks on it, but I don't see them, so I'm just going to make that up. Okay, so I want you to see, I put it just about level You know what I'm saying? Where it's here, it's here. Let me make sure. There we go. Oopsie. So I'm gonna hold on to this until these dry, but they're basically about level. Where I put it on that side, I'm gonna put it on this side. That glue is really making it very judgy, moving around a little bit on me. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna hold this and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm basically done with this for now because I don't know, look how cute that is. I don't know if I'm going to have it in a portrait mode, landscape mode. I really don't know what I want to do yet, so I'm not going to put this top bracket on yet. But I'll put this to the side and let it sit there and do its thing. So for the canvas, I thought it would be fun to actually make it look like a canvas. So this is really heavy duty stamping paper from Crafter's Companion. Where is my frame die? Here it is. So I'm going to cut this out real quick on my marquee. Again, same thing like we did before. I'm just going to cut this out and then we're going to do some fun stuff. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just put this down for a second and I'm going to tape it to the surface. And this surface is good because it's just, you know, self-healing matte, so it's not the biggest deal. But I'm going to take some of this tape and hopefully this opens up for me. Yesterday it was giving me problems. I'm just going to tape this down so to protect the edges. It doesn't really matter, I suppose, but I don't want this to start warping too much, right? Because that always happens whenever we put down water on papers like this, it starts warping. So I'm going to tape it on the very edges. Kind of like you do when you do watercoloring. People tape it off so that it helps with, you know, just keeping your paper flat, but also masking off certain areas, but mostly to keep the paper flat. And then I'm going to mask off this last side here, and we're going to put down some gesso. See? Ugh, this tape. I don't really need this part, so it's not a big deal, but... And I probably do want to mask off a bigger area than this to really hold it down, but that's okay. Again, the point of this was that my paper doesn't move too much. Okay. So I have some super heavy gesso. You don't need to do any of this that I'm doing. I just wanted to make it like a little kind of mixed media art piece. I thought that would be fun. I probably will still use the the little flowers that come in here just so we have that still life thing. But for now, I'm just going to do this really sloppy too. I want it to give texture and be nice instead of just making it look like, okay, oh, you know, it's just a background thing. I want it to be kind of chunky, but also do its work, right? Because gesso will help us. So we can add more stuff to this, but at the same time, I'm leaving it kind of streaky and fun. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry. I might hit it with a heat tool. Gesso doesn't love heat tools. If you get real close, it's gonna start bubbling. So I'll stay way up here and kind of hit it with a heat tool, but when I come back, we'll start doing some fun stuff. Okay, well that's drying a little bit because it's still a little tacky. I'm gonna take a screen, whatever you want to use, and get some of this gesso down. You can tint this gesso if you want, but I'm just going to use it white for now. And I'm just going to put this on really sloppily, just to get some texture back there. And maybe even some on this other side. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. Ooh, so pretty. And then maybe some over here too, just... Alright, so I'm going to let this dry all together again. Hit it with the heat tool. It's not taking too long. Again, with I hit it with the heat tool, it took like less than a minute. But I'm going to, again, stay high up and kind of get this dried up. Drying, and I'm not going to use this surface, obviously. I'm going to cut out the vase, and I thought this was kind of fun paper. It's very Art Deco, if that's even, I don't know. Who cares? It's a cool thing. So I'm going to use that on there, and then I'll cut out the flowers. I was going to say, if there's like a yellow paper in here, cute. And I want it to have texture, so that's kind of why. Otherwise, I would just use the yellow paper from the pack. But yeah, so it's this yellow paper that has like a weird little pattern on it. But that's okay. So I'm going to cut the flowers out of this paper. I'm going to cut the vase out of this paper, and I will be right back. One more piece we have for our still life is kind of funny. It's the little table piece, like what it's going to sit on, because I was wondering what this is. So, you know, I'm going to take this last piece that was left over from making the legs. I'm going to cut it out of this. So I'm going to trim this out, and I'll be right back. Still drying too. I'm just going to take my little letters from... this Local King stamp set, or stamp. Again, whatever you have to make it more texture. I'm going to put some little words on this, and it should be... So I was going to use brown, but where's my sepia? Oh, I should have looked for this before. You want an archival ink. Something that's not going to fade with water, but you know what's funny? I think... No, let me see. that one's not gonna work. Darn, hold on. This one pebble. I don't know why I started without having, so I have waterproof ink here and it's in the color pebble, so it's like a brown color. I wanted a brown color, so that's why I'm grabbing this. And I'm just gonna, that easy, and then take this little guy and just put it on there. Just to get some little letters on it, something different. So we can kind of see that. Just a little added texture, and maybe I'll do the same thing for the table piece. And to be honest, I think they're upside down, but that's okay. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. All right, and I will be back in just a minute. I might distress this a little bit too, put a little ink around the edges. My kids are waking up and I'm not even close to being done with this. Well, I'll try to be done a little faster. I just want to take some watercolor and we'll see what happens. I might end up with some of this other little stuff that I have laying around here, but I have this wash brush. I guess I just want water, so it doesn't matter what size brush you have. Just get some water down. And what colors am I using? I don't really think oh man, I don't know what I want to do. I'll get some yellow and I want to get it all in here, but again, this stuff isn't quite dry yet, so I don't want to rub around too much. Ooh, that looks so pretty. So there's some yellow, maybe a little blue. Maybe get some more of that blue over here somewhere. And again, I'm just adding color. There's no rhyme or reason here, and I would like it for it to drip, actually. It would be better for me if it dripped a little bit, but that's okay. I'm gonna do that. Get a little more water off of here. Get more of that yellow. So that kind of stands out a little bit better. And then what's funny, on the instructions it says to do whatever you're gonna do first and then put it on the easel. I'm like, oh, I can't paint right on the easel. Like, yeah, obviously. Anyway, I'm putting a little more water because I want this to be a little more fun, but also because, oh, I'll have the links like I mentioned earlier, but I do have Elizabeth Craft Designs now as a affiliate link, so that's kind of nice because I love their stuff and I've been using their things here and there, so now I have a affiliate link to their store itself. Of course, you can find their stuff on Craft Stash, on Scrapbook, on lots of different sites. I'm trying to see what I have here. Hold on. I know I have 3. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh. Eee, let me see. I'm gonna use this color burst, and if it doesn't look quite good, I will just, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I'm gonna have to spritz it with water. So these are these color burst things, and you can put it on wet paper, or you can put it down and then spray it like that. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I'm gonna have to sop some of that up because I can't use all of that, but that was very pretty. I might leave this one just the way it is, a little bit junky. You can also come in with a brush and wet it. I might add a little more blue back in here because I don't like the way that just kind of came away. And then I'm gonna hit this with the heat tool because we need this to dry. So I will be back. I'm just gonna add a little more blue there. And I'll be right back. Keep moving on. We're gonna keep moving on. I know this looks very plain. I might have to do something about that in a minute, but I'm gonna use this Vicky Button matte acrylic gel, and I'm sorry that if this is taking a while. But I had so many ideas, and I'm like, I gotta get these ideas out, so the video's a little bit longer than, I'm gonna get rid of that because this is supposed to squirt out anyway. Usually I keep like lids back where they should be. Keep things from drying out, but this is a squirt bottle, or a bottle basically. Honestly, I'm gonna dip right in here because I don't want to put it on a surface. I'm just trying to see if I have a brush that's kind of junky. There we go. I don't even know what this is. It just says 1/2 and it's like a fuzzy gross brush. So you can use this stuff for like lots of different things, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm trying to debate if it's gonna be like this, or maybe I should go this way. I feel like I've created it this way. Every time I do that, if I create something a certain way, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with it that way. So I'm going to put down some of this gel medium, and I'm going to put down my table, quote unquote. If my hair is in the way, it's probably all frizzy because it's bad today. And I like the look of this stuff, so that's why I'm using this to glue this down. It's going to dry kind of like a matte consistency, and I think that's great. And then again, my little, oh my gosh, I might have to do something to make this a little bit different because she looks very plain, but at the same time that's okay. So where should I put this? Where is my picture? Okay, I'm not an artist, I'll say that much. So I wanted to see, like, did they actually put it on the table or up higher? So, ooh, I'm getting that stuff spread around, that's fine. It's fine with me, because like I said, this vase is a little bit boring. Put our little vase, and then we're going to put our little flowers. And you can pop these up. I think I'm just going to let them fall back behind there. I'm assuming they're like this. I have no idea. Ooh, there's a lot going on. I think before I stick those down, I'm going to put something behind it because it's kind of fading away. So let me trim out the same thing in like a blue color, and I'll be right back. I'm dropping things. I'm just trying to get this done, and we need to wash this because this, again, you can do gel medium for lots of different things, but it dries. It's like a glue almost, so I wanted that there to kind of help bust it up. There we go. Because that will help our little flowers pop a little bit, right? Nice. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hit this with a heat gun, and I mean, there's so much else you can do, obviously, but this is a small little thing, and I don't want to crowd it too much with all kinds of fun stuff. I'm going to hit this with with a heat tool, or heat gun. I'm going to go wash this. My goodness, I'm having some tongue-tied morning, and I'll be right back. Okay, this might be weird as this is drying. It's getting there. I was like, maybe I should bring in some Micron and just do something to kind of accentuate this thing a little bit. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to. Little pen marks doesn't bother anybody. And if I had like a dark pastel kind of thing, do I have pastel? I probably have pastels or charcoal. Ooh. I would do that, but I'm just adding some little pen marks. And it's not even the biggest deal. It's just a little something, and it just adds a little more. Right? Okay, I'll be back. While that's drying, I'm just going to go back to this. I just cut a little piece of the extra paper that I had, and I just dovetailed it here. And basically, I'm just going to stick this down on the front of my little card. And what I'm going to do is obviously take this off and then just make the frame like I showed you guys before. So I don't want to keep waiting because I know my kids have things to do. I got things to do. And so what I'm going to do is let this dry on its own and just put the frame together like I've been showing you. In that first part there. And so I'm just going to stick this down whenever I find my tape runner. I just had it, but okay. I'm going to stick that there. I'm going to stick this on here. How cute is that? So cute. Somehow. And then on the inside, I'm just going to put one of these little cameras. Again, these are all the little dies that came in there, and I'll leave it kind of up because if I want to put a picture back there, I can do that. And I have this little Paris tag I'll stick over here somewhere. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helped out. Again, I'm going to let this air dry and make my little frame. And then the last thing you would do, and you can probably do it right now, that frame is going to be basically just like this high. So you would do is just kind of gauge it and then go ahead and glue your little, put some glue on the back of this and glue that down. So that looks like the piece that's going to be holding your little frame, right? So it's about there. If you were doing the landscape way, this way, you would just line that up and then put this here. So glue it down right there. Right? And then your little, it's so cute. So I'll have pictures for you guys. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them there. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now. Okay, real quick. I mean, how cute is this? And it feels so nice because of the gesso and everything. It's nice and thick. It's a little art project, and I did sign it there. I know I was like, oh, I have to sign off, but I have to come back and say something. And look at this. I made it so it's nice and snug, but you don't have to do that. And then you have your little thing that you can collapse or you can put out, however. I'll have pictures for you, obviously, but that is so cute. And then this little guy, I just kind of decorated the front, and we have our little cute little way of putting maybe a couple pictures in there, little memento there. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.